Therapy is very special to me. It reminds me of like this artisan, a potter that weave this beautiful vase, this beautiful work, but he did not start as, as a master crafter. He worked with the mud. He worked with all kinds of struggles to create something so beautiful. It symbolizes me about what therapy is about, especially healing. Therapy is more than science, more than tactics, more than logistics, more than strategies. Therapy is an embodied healing. It is a form of an art. We utilize all these effective tools and weaving it all, combining all of them all at the same time.
The difference in CADA versus other volunteer kinds of agencies is CADA addresses intangible needs. It addresses the needs of the soul.
One of the main things that really attracted me to CADA was this non-traditional approach to therapy along with a traditional approach, and how it kind of all fits together. I think with people who experience trauma, or the people that we come to a lot, they've had this extreme lack of choice maybe. They kind of have felt like they have lost some sort of control. And so our goal in yoga is to kind of give them that safe space, that personal agency to be able to make safe choices within their own bodies. And in that way, finding a little bit of that control within themselves, and then from that place being able to maybe feel or explore where else they have control in their lives.
In Human Services, we do reach out for services because of the people that we serve. We intervene with families, both in entire families as well as children that may be or may not be removed from the home for other reasons or several reasons. And then the need for mental health services are usually in order for those situations. A lot of kids that are removed from the home have experienced levels of trauma, and Doreen's our resource for trauma-informed therapy and treatment.
I can't emphasize how beneficial these services are in a rural community. So many people out here will sit for years and suffer in silence because there simply is nothing else they can do.
I have seen where we've had children that have had significant trauma in their background that have seen Doreen and CADA, and the difference in those children and the way that they are living and progressing in life is no comparison. I mean, she does amazing things with these kids to give them an equal chance in life to progress and grow in a healthy way, and we've seen that. It's a godsend to have CADA here and available to us in northeastern Colorado.
I've been a counselor for over 20 years. People come to me with a presenting problems of anxiety, depression, anger, ADHD, poor attention, impulse control. And come to find out, again, when you really listen intently, mindfully, and meaningfully, you hear the stories of what happened. And underneath that, in that core, that human being, there's trauma.
One of the initial ways that Doreen made a huge impact was she's a provider for EMDR. It's a type of therapeutic technique that allows people to process trauma. It's fascinating how quickly it can impact someone who might have been dealing with trauma for years and years. And so I think that specifically, right off the bat, way back when she first opened her doors, made a huge impact on adults and kids.
I always believe that when we incorporate curiosity, play, doesn't matter how old you are, things come up in a very beautiful way. Let's look at the sand. The sand tray is very organic, and it's a beautiful flow to where people don't even notice it. But when we play with the sand, we're already regulating our system. And when we involve and when we include miniatures and toys getting played in the sand, we are tapping and accessing the limbic system, which is responsible for relationship, responsible for curiosity, and the right hemisphere of the brain, which is responsible for our emotions. And so the sand and the miniature, when you witness a person play with that, they're showing it without words. And next thing you know, it connects, and then it taps into the prefrontal cortex, which this time they're able to say what needs to be said.
I'm certainly not an expert in mental health, but one of the things that I find is children do engage because it's not that traditional, chase lounge with a therapist sitting there. It's actually getting them involved in their own therapy and letting them to see how this works, and just the things that she does with these kids. It's amazing.
And I think with trauma, oftentimes we deal with people that are stuck in time. I call it, trauma freezes people in time. And if I can help one person to break that, that's powerful. Just one.
And we're really just providing so many options to people. I mean, therapy or healing isn't a one-size-fits-all approach, and I've learned that through my experience of healing and trauma and all that stuff. And we have so many options, so many different people, so many different outlets to help people through that process. And it's a great place to be.
I think the most important thing I would want to say to the community about CADA is that CADA is there for them. When you've been hurt, when you recognize that you are hurting from a trauma, there is a place to go. There is a place that can guide you toward healing. You must do that healing yourself, but there is a place that can and will help.
I want people to know and believe that trauma can be healed. And CADA's mission, CADA's desire is to do whatever we can to make that happen. I believe that therapy is more than just talking. Every minute, every millisecond between a client and the therapist, there's a lot of things going on. And it can be challenging, yet at the same time can be beautiful. And that's where healing happens, that you can see you're attuned, you're with that client, and that involves the combination and the weaving between science and art. That's what therapy is about.